How are we doing, VC? Hope everyone's good. I hope everyone's doing well. Mr. Boulder here with another video on a Sunday evening. Right. Today I'm going to talk about the albums that got me into extreme metal. If you're like me, I started off with the likes of Bon Jovi and Def Leppard, stuff like that. Next year, I sort of started to dip my toes into thrash with Metallica, Anthrax, and Megadeth. And then a few more years went by, and in '92, I really got into music massively. And then a couple of years later, if you're anything like me, I think a lot of us probably have this. You sort of start off with the softer stuff, and then you go on, and then you're just looking for something heavier. And then after the thrash stuff, I was looking for something even heavier. And these were the first albums and bands that I encountered with regards to sort of death metal. So I'm going to talk about them today. Before I go any further, thanks as always to those who watch, subscribe, like, comment and all that good stuff. Make sure you carry on doing it. It's very much appreciated. Alright, first album today then is Heartwork by Carcass. I know a lot of the fans from the early days absolutely hated this when it came out, because it was very different from the gore grind that they were doing in their early days. I actually prefer this stuff over their earlier stuff, truth be told. I still like the early stuff, but for me this is where it's at with Carcass. Not my favourite Carcass album, but this is the one that introduced me to them and pretty much to death metal. Fantastic album. You've got the core trio of Bill Steer, Ken Owen and Jeff Walker, and added Mike Ammett on guitar, who went on to be an arch enemy, of course. This is an absolutely outstanding album. Title track, No Love Lost, Death Certificate, Blind Bleeding the Blind. Carnal Forge, I think, is the second song. Yeah, listened to this just today, and yeah, I forgot how bloody good that song is. But yeah, this was something else when I was in my sort of late-ish teens, mid to late teens. Never heard anything quite as brutal as this before, and absolutely loved it. Such a good album. Not a bad song on it. It's absolutely fantastic. Really love this. Yeah, it's fantastic stuff. This is on clear. Picked this up a few years ago. Yeah, not my favourite album of theirs, but this is a really good one. Yeah, when the heaviest thing you heard before this was your sort of Megadeths and Anthraxes, this was definitely a notch up, and this is not even Hammer their heaviest. But like I said, I'd never heard anything like it before, and it's absolutely fantastic. Another copy here, because that was on clear. I wanted to get it on black vinyl, ordered this off the internet and turned up and it's actually silver vinyl. This is the full dynamic range version that Earache do. And then finally at some point I grabbed the black vinyl copy off of eBay. So yeah, I've got 3 copies of this one. Completely unnecessary, but I love this album. Yeah, definitely a game changer for me when I was a younger man. Fantastic stuff. Heartwork from Carcass. A real sort of gateway to the heavier side of things for me. Yeah, a lot of the core fans from the early days don't like this, and I can understand that because it's completely different. But this is a fine slice of melodic death metal. Carcass from Liverpool here in the UK, and this came out in 1993. Excellent album. Up next is Entombed's Wolverine Blues. Again, the earlier stuff quite a bit heavier. This was obviously the start of the sort of death and roll thing. If you're not familiar with that, it's when death metal bands were toning it down a little bit. For instance, on this, there's no double kick drums at all. But the riffing's still really, really heavy. The opening riff to the title track, Wolverine Blues, is one of my favourite guitar riffs. Obviously, classic guitar sound, that HM2 guitar sound that the Swedish death metal bands are so well known for. Yeah, this is nothing really like Clandestine or Left Hand Path, but this is an outstanding album, and I absolutely love it. Title track's fantastic. What else have we got here? Eye Master's brilliant. Rotten Soil, Demon, Full of Hell, Hollow Man, Out of Hand. There's not a bad song on this. Yeah, sort of quite sort of chilled out compared to the earlier stuff, but still really good. It's still heavy, but just not quite the same beast as what came before. Again, I think probably a lot of the fans from the first two albums probably dislike this because once again, quite a change in direction. But a fantastic album for me. Can't get enough of it. It really, really is outstanding. But love the first two as well. But this is the first Entombed album I heard. And yeah, another sort of gateway album into the heavier side of things, even though they can be much heavier than this. But this is still a really, really good album. Check it out if you're not familiar with it. Obituaries, Well Demise. I can remember this quite clearly because this came out when I hadn't started working very long. I was out of school by now and started to work, and of course when you first start working you've got more money than you've ever known because you ain't paying any bills, still living at mum and dad's house. And I can remember seeing this, the first song from this, Don't Care, which was on Noisy Mothers. Saw the video for that, Noisy Mothers. If you're from the UK, you'll remember Noisy Mothers because it was pretty much the only outlet on TV for hard rock and heavy metal, which was on about 2 o'clock in the morning on a Friday night or something silly like that. But they played the video for Don't Care, and it completely blew me away. And to this day, it's for me still one of John Hardy's best vocal performances. Brilliant stuff. Not their best, but I really, really love this. There's some killer tracks on this. The first track, like I say, Don't Care. The title track, Well Demise. Boiling Point, Redefine. Final Thoughts. What are the others? I can't think of right now. Yeah, Burned In, Splattered, another good one. Solid State. Really, really good album, this. Yeah, obviously the Tardy Brothers. This was Alan West still on guitar at this point. Trevor Pears, and this is Frank Watkins on bass as well. A great album, really, really heavy. Vocally, never heard anything like it. John Hardy is just, and I've seen him a couple of times over the last few years at Bloodstock, and he's still got that voice. Still sounds amazing. Some of the best vocals you'll ever hear in any death metal. A really, really good album. I absolutely love this. Had the CD for years and picked this up a few years ago. Another album that just blew me away when I first heard it. Absolutely love it. Obituaries, Well Demise from 1994. Next up is one that Liam, the Death Doom Metalhead, showed just this week. This is, again, my first album from this band. And I think it's actually my favourite album from this band. Absolutely fantastic stuff. It's Morbid Angel's Domination from 1995. I heard the title track from this, or Dominate it's called, the first track, on a CD that came free with Terrorizer magazine. Absolutely blew me away. Got the original press CD. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely love it to this day. The second track, Where the Slime Live, is one of the best death metal songs ever recorded as far as I'm concerned. Pete Sandoval's drumming throughout. Amazing. Such an absolutely outstanding drummer. I love the way the double kick drums are going at it big time the whole way through the song, but the riff is really slow. Dave Vinson's vocals fantastic. But yeah, the title track, Dominate, yeah. Where the Slime Live, stuff like Eyes to See, Ears to Hear, Hate Work. What else have we got on here? Dawn of the Angry. This means war. Nothing but fear. There is not a bad song on this album. A great way to be discovering death metal. Absolutely outstanding stuff. I've not really made any bad albums, to be honest. I know the last one they did with Dave Vincent gets panned by a lot of people, but there's still some good stuff on it. It's not as bad as it's been made out to be. But this was my introduction to Morbid Angel, and it's still my favourite of theirs now. But they've got loads of really, really good albums. Yeah, there we go. That's a Domination from 1995 from Morbid Angel. Essential stuff. And last up today is Death and Symbolic from 1995. Death never made a bad album, and this is my favourite. And it's not just because it was my first. I just like it the best out of all of them. An absolutely outstanding album. Again, heard a track which was off the same CD that I heard the Morbid Angel track from, that came with the Free with the Terrorizer magazine. 1000 Eyes it was. This album, absolutely brilliant. I remember me and my mate Glenn going to Norwich, and he bought the cassette, and we listened to that album over and over again. So I went out and got the CD not long after. And it's another 10 out of 10 album. It's just amazing death metal. Not quite as hard as some of the earlier stuff, such as Leprosy or Scream Bloody Gore. But these guys just kept making great albums all the time. You know, didn't make the same album over and over again. Just brilliant. Absolutely outstanding. Gene Hoglan on the drums, which is always amazing, of course. Chuck on guitar and vocals, obviously. Can't remember the name of the bass player and the guitar player off the top of my head, and not on the back, I don't think. Yeah, but fantastic. Absolutely love it. Yeah, 1000 Eyes, title track, Perennial Quest, Crystal Mountain, etc., etc., etc. There's not a bad song on this. It's an absolutely outstanding album, another gateway album into death metal. These 5 albums I've shown were just opened me up to so much music. And if you're looking at getting into death metal, I know a couple of guys I watch regularly on YouTube, Brendan Von Doom and the Rock Scout. They're starting to dip their toes into the heavier stuff. And if you're not really listening to a lot of death metal, I would recommend checking out all these sort of 5 albums, because they're very much sort of gateway death metal. Not too brutal, not too heavy. Yeah, you want to be starting with stuff like this, and not starting with something like Deicide's Legion, which is an absolute beast of a brutal death metal record. These are a little bit more easy to take if you've not really listened to it before. But outstanding album. All 5 of these albums absolutely love. Brilliant stuff. Just opened up the doors to so many more bands for me. And 5 very important albums to me. Right guys, that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Look after yourselves, take care, speak to you soon. Alright, goodbye.